Cool. So is this live? I think it's live. Okay. I want to see how the audio is because I'm having audio problems. So let me double check this now that it's running through YouTube. That actually sounds pretty good. Okay, so I'll notify the Discord folks. I my audio device broke, the one I used to convert analog audio to digital audio. And so I'm using my a fallback one I have. But I've been having audio problems. So that's why the last video had there were noise gate problems. I was trying to kind of work around an issue I was having. So I ordered a new one. And hopefully it'll be here tomorrow or Friday. At any rate, so that all that troubleshooting, all that audio troubleshooting kind of ate into a bunch of the time I was hoping to use to stream. And I'm just not I'm in the wrong headspace. I'm feeling unhappy about the audio situation. So it's going to take me a minute here, I feel like, to really get in the zone. But that happens. That's all right. Okay, so yesterday I got a handle on a design that I got a handle on a design for how to handle visual and audio cursors for this Read It Later app. And I realized after I stopped streaming that the one bit of this is slightly easier. I had this idea of a diverged visual cursor, and I was going to record the element that the visual cursor was diverged to, and I'm thinking that I don't actually need to record it. I'm not planning to persist it across runs, and I don't think I need to do anything to it. So I think what I just need is a Boolean to describe whether the visual and audio cursors are diverged. And that's all I need. And it will have slightly different behavior if they are diverged. And they will just diverge by essentially disabling the logic that automatically scrolls to follow the audio. And I don't have a proper type for the HTML element. And there's a question of how I'm going to find out what the proper type is. But we can look that up So Dart HTML is being replaced with package web. One moment. Okay, so I don't know if that means I can use it. I should probably use this package web thing. It's a lightweight browser API bindings around JS interop, which supports communication with JavaScript apps and libraries, as well as browser APIs. One thing is, yeah, there we go. Okay. Why is this being... So I guess this is HTML, at least in the sense of like we're doing query selectors. That's part of HTML. And I want to know what I can use. Actually, the other thing I realized is I'm not sure I can get a reference to DOM elements that make sense in Flutter, although maybe this is telling me I can. So for example, here, this is Dart. We're doing document.querySelector.div. Sorry, not dot, but of div. And we get something back, some variable. And we're able to set its text. And I'm guessing that what this is doing is interoperating with the JavaScript. And it occurred to me that what I could do is just, since I'm rewriting the web pages anyway, I could implement much of my logic in just JavaScript so that I have less of a Dart boundary. And I could just insert this JavaScript script into all of the web pages. That would help a couple of things. First of all, it would reduce the boundary. As I just said, that somewhat reduces complexity. It might make it easier to debug the JavaScript script. And that's really about it. However, we have to have some non-trivial communication across the boundary because the text-to-speech system will be in Dart/Flutter, and the text-to-speech system will be regularly communicating after each utterance with the web view to update the web view to tell it where to go next and what to highlight and stuff like that. So I guess I shouldn't be too concerned about how big this boundary is. What I don't know is where does document come from here? We're importing web.dart, and maybe the thinking is that there's only a single thing the document could be. Like there's only a what? I don't know. So here's a table of stuff that have changed. The Dart interop story has been under heavy development for some time now. Check out the past JS interop page for more in-depth summary on past iterations. But I don't know if this is for the web. This is Dart web, right? I think this is for targeting the web. Let's try asking the AI. I'll ask ChatGPT this time. I have a Dart, a Flutter WebView app. How can I get a reference to the an HTML element in the web view, I guess. ChatGPT is being very slow. So this, I don't think this is really answering my question. So, given the setup, uh, show me how to change the title of an HTML page. First of all, so this on web view created is not up to date, which is not surprising. And so it's going to get this. Oh, it's just running the. So the thing that's changing the elements is in JavaScript, not in Dart. And if I look here, it says this web 1.0.0 is only available in web. And what about this older package, this, I guess, HTML package? The HTML is available in all of the things, including Android and Mac OS. And it's just an HTML parser. So maybe that's different from Dart :HTML. Is it? I don't know. This is package HTML parser. This is Dart :HTML. I don't know what the difference is. Let me ask Gemini the same question I asked Chat GPT. And I'll add an example. For example, can I get a reference to the title element as a Dart object, change it in the Dart object, and have the change be reflected in the web view? I'm guessing you cannot do this. And Gemini is refusing to even answer my question. I guess maybe it has some instructions that tell it when it's close to its limitations. Let's try the same thing on ChatGPT again. Okay. So it sounds like for some of this stuff, I will have to implement it in JavaScript. Fair enough. But I don't have a, let's see. So what's the right way to do that? I could, this is always going to be JavaScript that runs in the web browser. And it only runs in web browsers on mobile devices. So how do I want to do this? I don't think the Dart tooling will easily let me test JavaScript stuff. It might kind of let me test JavaScript stuff, but I don't think it will. I don't think that's the right way to do it. On the other hand, I don't really know how I want to. I want to develop vanilla JavaScript. So I guess the main thing, and even can I don't, is there a headless JavaScript development environment that's not Node? Headless Chrome. I'll ask ChatGPT. I have to develop some JavaScript scripts that will run on mobile browsers in web views. I'd like to unit test these scripts and be able to run the tests in environments that don't have browsers installed, like the CI system. The scripts mainly manipulate DOM. The DOM are there utilities that make this sort of development environment possible. So that's fine. That's a unit testing framework, but how do I? No, I'm not asking for testing frameworks. I'm asking for development frameworks. What about Bazel? Is there Bazel support? JavaScript and Bazel. So there's a Node.js thing, rules.js, Bezel rules for building. JavaScript programs. There's a JavaScript minifier, TypeScript, Webpack, Rollup, Jest. I mean, TypeScript could be decent. So unfortunately, this is like using NPM. Is it using Node under the hood? Yeah, I think so. I don't want to run it on Node. Is Node really the only option? I don't want to do that. Okay, so what are my other options? Well, I'm not sure. So while I'm mulling that over, let me think about, is there like an XPath thing for JavaScript? Is there a way to get an element by XPath? You can use document evaluate. Evaluates an XPath expression string and returns the result of this the specified type. Okay, so try ChatGPT again, even though it's been not doing, it's not been doing well. I'll ask it, is there a standard way to, so I have an HTML document that I would like to record. So I am building reading progress app, and I would like to persist reading progress for a given HTML page to the disk. What is a good way of persisting, of encoding progress so that so it can be restored even on other devices? So Wallabag uses a percentage for this, and I think that's probably okay. It's not very precise, so you will, in general, lose information. And so what is it saying? Okay, so that's the first thing it suggests. Calculate and store percentage read. That's presumably like percent into essentially viewing the HTML document as a string and then indexing some percentage into it. And the disadvantages is that changes to the content, such as adding or removing text, can affect accuracy. So I also thought about this yesterday, and I don't, if you change the text, in most cases, you may want to invalidate the the reading progress. It kind of depends on what the text change is. So, for example, if it's a complete rewrite, you probably want to invalidate the progress. On the other hand, if it's like fixing a typo or changing a few words, you do not want to invalidate progress. So somehow there maybe if things change, you could imagine having something like a diff algorithm. But it's also possible just to not yet support the feature that you can change the content and expect the reading progress to be the same. All right, so I don't know. I don't if getting rid of the requirement to support that significantly simplifies things, then I'll do that. And then we have content-based markers. The use unique identifiers within the HTML content, such as paragraph IDs, to mark where the user has left off. And it requires content to have stable identifiers. And so it has some examples. And here it's measuring both types of progress. Okay. Let me verify that XPath is it just an, so let's see, it's for querying. So I'll ask, what about a instead of the second option, which you called what? Content-based markers. What do you think of using something like XPath to get a what's the word? A unique path to an element. Okay, so ChatGPT tells me that's an excellent idea, and I believe it because it usually doesn't kiss my butt as much as Gemini does. Okay, so now we've got two things to consider. One is the path can change if we allow the document to change. And what else? That's really about it. Okay, so we can persist the X path and we might as well persist the percentage too. Should we? I don't know. I guess we don't have to persist the percentage. If I decide that we want to support like a percentage based version and for some reason the X path is too rigid, then we can always migrate to percentage based in the future. And if we can always, if the document's going to be updated, we can always take the given X path and convert it to a percentage with the old document and jump to that location in the new document and get a new path or something along those lines. So I don't think we technically need both. And so now I'm just stuck trying to figure out how to handle these cursors now. And I guess let me ask, I looked this up before. This some like next element thing in that Mozilla, I think, came up. Next element sibling. So sibling, I'm guessing this means on the same level. So here's some examples. So it has a div and some script. And the script says get element by ID, div 01, next, and then calling next element sibling on it. And they're going to log. And then we're going to keep going. So siblings of div 01 are div and then script. So these are siblings. So these are, I guess, siblings in the parse tree of the HTML document. Well, I'm trying to see if there's like, how would you implement the next button? I guess you could do a tree. You could do a tree traversal, and that will uh, take the graph structure and make it linearized. And that's probably the standard way to get something you can index into. But I'll ask Gemini. Let me resume one of the other conversations so it has some context. But not one where it told me it can't do what I want it to do. How about this one? What's a good way to linearize the HTML document so that it can be passed, so it can be modeled in a PTS system as moving forward and backward in the text by one speech unit, e.g. a sentence or a paragraph. Understanding the challenge. HTML is inherently a hierarchical structure, while TDS requires a linear progression. The goal is to transform this structure into a sequence of speech units. That's right. So the proposed approach is DOM traversal. Recursively traverse the DOM tree, creating a depth first or breadth first representation. Each node encountered becomes a potential speech unit. Text extraction. For text-based elements like paragraphs, headings, etc., extract the text content. For non-tree elements like images, videos, consider providing alternative text, alt text, or skipping them. And then define the rules for creating speech units based on HTML tags or content. For example, A paragraph becomes a speech unit. A heading can be a speech unit or part of the preceding text. Consider using punctuation or semantic information to split text into units. And then each speech unit has an object with properties like text content, HTML reference for potential future use, metadata, and then we create a list or array to store them. So this is JavaScript. We're going to linearize with the root element, and this is some traversal. I guess okay, well, we call traverse root element down here. Oh, okay, no, sorry, I thought that was part of this function. Okay, so we look at the node we're calling traverse on, and if it's a type text node, which I'm not sure is a thing, then we'll say speech units push. Text is the text content trim. Maybe this is a thing. Text node. Create text node. Okay. Yeah, else if the node type is an element node, handle elements based on tag name or other criteria. If node tag name is P for paragraph, then we are going to push it on to the speech units thing. And then we might handle headings. And then we're going to recursively traverse the child nodes. I don't know how for each enumerates them. Presumably they're just in order. Okay, so this looks mostly or entirely right to me. And now what? So let's also see how the Wallabag Android app does it. We have a TTS fragment. The fragment, I think, is a UI fragment, TTS service, TTS converter, TTS data. Maybe data? Some arbitrary number. So is initialized, get languages, init, on activity result. How about web view text? It implements a text interface. So there's some text interface to navigate. And what does it do? It's going to parse the web view document with some callback. And there's a JSTTS controller. And we're setting the web view text to this. And we're evaluating some JavaScript. JavaScript, JS parse document script, whatever this is. This is some string. And so this is just logging stuff on some callbacks on document parse text. Convert web view to screen Y top add item. And the item we're adding is the text item, text top, bottom, parse text item extras. And I'm not sure what those extras are. And when we call get item, we return a generic item, whatever that is, and we return text list.get. So indexing into the text list this item. And so where is add item called? I think this is, so we've got this on text thing. And I guess maybe what this is doing is for each text unit, it is calling a corresponding callback to add it to the web text view thing. This is the JavaScript TTS controller. So on start, we're going to call post. I'm not sure what post is. This may be about message busing, I think, if I remember from the other day. Actually, here's post. We're just calling handler post, whatever handler is. And then in the other page, they had some global looking string JS parse document script that seems to house a JavaScript script. It's going to call storage helper read raw string raw TTS parser. Where is the, so here's drawables. Let's find it again. So here's TTS parser.js. We've got command start, command end, command text, and then this traverse, which is looking a lot like what Gemini suggested. Well, elements null. If we shouldn't skip the element and we have child nodes, then we've got this callback enter node element. Element is equal to element.firstChild. Else, we get the next sibling. While next is null and element's not null, we do some other stuff. And we may call process leave. So this is some traversal. This looks a little bit more involved than the Gemini one. And then should skip is just looking at the node type. If it's a comment node or a script, etc., or it contains no TTS. The tag name is I. But what about like div? There's stuff like get relevant extras. I don't know what the extras are. You pass it in some extras and some emphasis starts. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the extras are. And then we have this parse document text, which has a commented out stack. And we are checking for sentence end, and we're something with accumulated text. You have the current element, some regex for matching, I guess, punctuation, like the period, the question mark, or the exclamation mark, followed by, I guess, white space. And then when we match, presumably we're just going to split on the place where we matched. Okay. Maybe though, like I don't know if you want sentence by sentence. I guess maybe you do for long enough sentences. But paragraph by paragraph might be a nicer experience. Maybe the thing to do is to have a paragraph, but have it be limited by length. So you split only long paragraphs or something. I don't know. Maybe I can try it both ways. Okay, so actually, I closed that window. But one of the things I was wondering is how if we test this at all. And I don't think we do. So I'll ask Gemini now about testing. But first, I want to know if this chat has. Yeah. Okay. So if I use this JavaScript code in my Flutter app, how can I go about unit testing the code in a reasonable way? Is that something I can do through the Dart development, the Dart/Flutter development environment? Or is it something I can do using my main build system, Bazel? Unfortunately, you cannot directly unit test JavaScript code within the Dart development environment. Why not? Different language ecosystems, isolation challenges, performance overhead. Recommended approach, separate testing environment. Dedicated JavaScript testing framework. Use a JavaScript testing framework, blah, 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 integrating with the build system. Leverage browser-based testing. Create HTML files. Structure the JavaScript code within HTML files for testing purposes. Utilize browser development tools. Employ browser-based debugging and testing tools to execute and inspect test results. Consider headless browsers like Puppeteer or Playwright. Okay. So I don't know what Puppeteer or Playwright are. Presumably they are headless browsers. How do you spell it? Each version of Playwright needs specific versions of browser binaries to operate. You will need the Playwright blah, 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 blah. Install dependencies. Puppeteer lets you control Chrome or Firefox. I don't think this is headless. Did it just tell me it was headless, or is it just I'll ask our Puppeteer and Playwright headless in the sense that they can run on, I'll say Docker containers that have no GUI installed. Okay. What is this? This is just VS Code, right? Puppeteer is a Node.js library. I guess Node.js is the thing. You have to use it, I suppose, which provides a high-level API to control Chromium or Firefox browsers over the DevTools protocol. So it sounds like I do need to have a browser to control, right? And it installs Chromium from apt, which I believe depends on the GUI. I don't want a browser. I want a standards compliant uh, way of handling documents in DOMs that is headless. Is that possible? So that was Puppeteer. What is this other one? Playwright? It says something about X server. Okay. Is there a it looks like Puppeteer and Playwright both require running a standard GUI browser somewhere. Is there a standards compliant headless HTML document environment that will let me run unit tests without any GUI at all. What you're looking for is a pure JavaScript rendering engine. Okay, yeah. So there's JS DOM, Cheerio, and other options. It might have limitations with respect to complex DOM interactions. So Cheerio is for scraping. That might work. JS DOM. Yeah, this looks good. This looks good. So what if I do Cheerio versus JS DOM? Which is better for you? They have common communities. However, Cheerio is a more streamlined use case and is popular among web scrapers. Is Cheerio still 8x faster than JS DOM? I think this is maybe, well, it implements a subset of core jQuery, removes all the DOM inconsistencies in BrowserCraft from the jQuery library, revealing a truly gorgeous API. Blazingly fast. I'm not sure I want to use jQuery. I think that Cheerio is maybe for if you want to write a fast library using using I think the non-browser stuff using a third-party library like jQuery. jQuery, I didn't know it was still around. Honestly, it's used by 77% of the 10 million most popular websites. So it's got its special syntax designed to make it easier to navigate a document, select DOM elements, create animations, and so forth. So who created it? At Barcamp. Okay. Well, that's not what I want. I think I want JS DOM. What is WAT-WG? Something working group? The Web Hypertext Application Technology Working Group. How are they different? How are they related to W3? It was formed in response to the slow development of the W3C web standards and W3C's decision to abandon HTML in favor of XML based technologies. Isn't HTML an XML based technology, or are they not? I think they're both SGSTML or whatever. What's it called? SGML? I guess they're not. Let me check out SGML. Standard Generalized Markup Language. So it's been it's extended from GML and is extended to HTML and XML. So I guess maybe HTML and XML are siblings or something like that. Okay. Yeah. So JS DOM it is, and that means I need to have a place to run it. And for that, I will need to find some Bazel rules. I'm not sure what the right ones are. I saw that there were a couple of different approaches. Rules Node.js seems to be from the Bazel build organization. So this seems promising. Do we have any examples? Scripts, packages, internal, external, docs, ETE. Okay, so we have this installation we need to add to our workspace. Where do we want to add it? I don't know. Maybe down here so we don't interfere with some of the more delicate operations. Oh, okay. And now what? Now what do I do? So we have a Node.js repositories to be run in your workspace to install rules Node.js dependencies. Um, Okay. Well, so the limitation doesn't come from rules Haskell. Maybe it comes from a Haskell gRPC. I don't really remember where the limitation came from. And so what is called? I wonder if I can figure out what's causing it to use some other version. I guess one thing I can do is create a new root directory and test things out there. Read only. I guess now this has to do a bunch of stuff. Enable Bazel mod is set, but no module is found. Yeah, what is going on here? So I could try running it in the terminal, disabling enable Bazel mod. I don't know how to disable it, but we'll try that. How about no enable? All right, so that actually worked. There's a there's a no enable keyword, and I just have to not have a dash. So it's trying to load this thing, and something's wrong. First of all, I guess I do need the HTTP archive in the new workspace. Is that enough to solve my problem? I don't know. Seems to be making progress, except we have no such package at npm. And it's, I guess, looking for some sort of npm config file, which maybe I have to provide it. So we have this package.json. Okay, so what is the error? And why does it keep hiding my terminal? There's something about .mpmrc. It wants to have a package.json. Okay, and it has to be populated with something. Okay, so that did something. What is this doing? Error. No such package at npm. Okay, so I guess the reason it wants me to have a Bazel ignore file is the to ignore all the npm noise. I think we've almost built something. We've got a bunch of noisy debug messages. Hello world is a source file. Nothing will be built. If you want to build a target that consumes this, try compile one dependencies. No, I wanted to. I guess it needs something to run. I guess console. Well, is there no runtime? Oh hey, sorry, idle piece. I didn't see your chat. I'm not even sure when you chatted. Sorry if it was like a huge amount of time ago. Yes, I am making a TTS app using Flutter. Oh, this was a long time ago. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I this window wasn't on all of the workspaces. Maybe I can make it appear everywhere. All desktops. It can run tests from the command line, but can it run tests from the command line without having any browser or GUI installed? That's slightly different. All right, so rules.js. Back to GitHub. I must have accidentally closed the rules.js thing. So here you have examples, JS binary, and their binary is called require acorn. So what if I just copy their example? You would think that I would copy their whole example with all of the files at once, but I'm actually going to see how little I can get away with copying. What is wrong with this? data.js, which is so here's an example usage. And the name is set to nothing. And the entry point is nothing. What? There's no audio in between. You mean if I stop talking? Do you mean my, so is the audio broken? I've been having audio issues. Okay, so I have to go. I have to go take a call. So I think I have to stop here, and I guess tomorrow, or maybe later today, I'll try to figure out if there's a way to do this. I have a feeling that they don't want me to just run. You can hear me. Oh, maybe it's the audio probably cuts off pretty sharply when I stop talking because of the noise gate. So there's this JS run binary. Runs a JS binary as a build action. I guess that's as part of the build graph. So what other examples are there? We have general coverage JS library, macro npm deps npm package. What is data.json? Answer is 42. So it should be the case that this, well, hang on. It's passing as data a node module. Why is that considered data? And what if I try to do this? Hmm. So what does actually get built? Anything? So this just gets copied over, it looks like. So let's look at npm run. So how about a simple npm script? And so npm run, you can call some hello world. What is hello world here? No, I don't want this. Oh, not npm. I meant Node.js. So you have some hello that just has this thing you call node hello. And that's really what I was expecting rules.js to do. Maybe I want rules node.js. But I thought that they told me that this was not like user facing. It does not have any rules for using Node.js. But what does that mean? How about just run a Node.js script in Bazel? So building and running. This looks like the right, the right. What's the word? UI. Okay, so let's see what this person does. He's got a workspace. Right, Mr. Pascal, and we've got this npm install. We're using rules Node.js and Node repositories. This looks much cleaner. How old is it though? 2 years. That's not so old. Might still work. What else? We downloading a specific rules Node.js thing. Hello. Okay. Yeah. This is an old version of Node.js, but I think it'll be acceptable. Let me copy it twice just because KDE has been not copying stuff. Let's do it up here. And maybe that. This is obviously my fault, but what am I getting wrong? Maybe I need some well, we got console.log. Maybe I need single things. Oh, you know what? I think I probably had my mic. My mic might have been muted for a while. So sorry about that. That might have been going on for some time. We'll see how that goes. Um, okay. Yeah. I know. So I know what happened with the microphone. OBS is intercepting um, one of my key shortcuts and is using it to mute the mic, even though it's not the same keyboard shortcut. So I'll have to fix that. Bummer. All right. So I think I just removed Node.js. And let's see if so this should still work with the, actually before this, let me just turn off keyboard shortcuts on OBS so this doesn't happen anymore. Okay. So Node is gone. And we'll do a clean build. So that works. And then the question is whether it works with the Node.js rules. Okay, so even without Node installed, it seems like the Node.js rules do download Node.js properly. I've got to go take a call, and I'll be back tomorrow.